Have you ever worked so hard for something and wondered if any of it was actually making a difference? You keep showing up, you keep doing the work, you keep making sacrifices, but from where you're standing, nothing seems to be changing. I've realised something over the last few years. The biggest breakthroughs in my life didn't happen because I worked harder than everyone else. They happened because I stayed around long enough to see the results that most people quit before they ever experience. Welcome back to Try the Flip Side. I'm Vanessa, and this podcast is about using triathlon as a vehicle to explore something much bigger: how we grow as people. Today I want to talk about delayed gratification. It's a phrase I'd heard countless times. Successful people talk about it. Psychologists talk about it. Business leaders talk about playing the long game. And if I'm honest, I understood these words, but I don't think I truly understood what they meant. Because delayed gratification isn't just waiting. It's continuing to believe in something long after the excitement has disappeared. It's choosing today's work when today's work doesn't appear to be paying off. And that is much harder than it sounds. If someone had told me 10 years ago that I'd be sitting here recording this podcast, that I've transformed my health, lost over 60 kilograms, completed endurance events that I once thought were impossible, started creating work that genuinely means something to me, I honestly don't think I would have believed them. Because for a long time, nothing looked like it was working. The scale barely moved, then moved up, then moved down, then moved up again. Running felt hard, cycling felt uncomfortable, swimming was frustrating. There wasn't some dramatic movie montage where suddenly everything clicked. Most days just looked ordinary. And that's the part that no one really talks about, because progress is often invisible until it's undeniable. I think one of the hardest parts about changing your life is that our brains are wired to want immediate rewards. We like instant feedback, instant success, instant progress. Our brains love certainty. Psychologists often refer to the famous marshmallow test. Children were given one marshmallow. If they could wait, they'd receive two. Now, later research showed it wasn't quite as simple as successful people wait. Trust and environment mattered too. But the lesson still resonates. Waiting is difficult, especially when you can't see what's on the other side. And that's exactly what changing your life feels like. Every workout, every early morning, every decision to keep going is another marshmallow moment. No applause, no fireworks, just another quiet decision. James Clear talks about something called the plateau of latent potential. Imagine an ice cube sitting in a room at -5 degrees. You warm the room 1 degree, nothing happens. -4, nothing. -3, still nothing. -2, -1, still nothing happens. Still nothing appears to change. Then finally, 0 degrees, the ice cube melts. From the outside, it looks like the change happened instantly, but it didn't. Every single degree mattered. The breakthrough wasn't created at 0 degrees. It was built during all the invisible work before it. That's us. We spend so much time judging ourselves because we haven't melted yet, without realizing we're already warming the room. Something else fascinates me, which is the reticular activating system, or the RAS. It's basically the filter in your brain that decides what's important enough for you to notice. The most common example of this is buying a new car. Have you ever bought a new car, then suddenly you see that same car everywhere? Those cars didn't suddenly appear. You simply started noticing them. Goals work the same way. When you become clear about where you're going, your brain starts noticing opportunities that were always there. Ideas, people, solutions, connections, ways forward. It's almost as though life begins helping you, but really, your attention has changed. And once your attention changes, your behavior starts changing too. You find a way, you become resourceful, you become creative, you become determined. I think this has been one of the biggest lessons for me. Your end goal cannot be how you measure your day. Your end goal should inspire your day, but it should never judge your day. Because if your only measure of success is crossing the finish line, then almost every day feels like failure. Instead, ask yourself, did I keep the promise I made to myself today? Did I show up? Did I become 1% better? Did I stay on course? Those are the questions that matter, because those are the questions that eventually create the finish line. James Clear also says something I love. Real change happens when you stop asking, what do I want to achieve? And instead ask, who do I want to become? Who do I want to become? That changed everything for me, because suddenly I wasn't exercising to lose weight. I was becoming someone who trains. I wasn't trying to complete an Ironman. I was becoming someone who honors commitments. The goal stopped being something in the distance. The identity became something I could practice today. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this episode, it's this. Keep the vision. Keep it somewhere you can see it. Because on the days when progress is invisible, vision is what keeps you moving. Be adaptable in how you measure success. Celebrate consistency. Celebrate showing up. Celebrate becoming. Because those things are actually the foundation of every breakthrough you'll ever have. You make it happen. You find a way. And somehow along the journey, you'll look back and realize the person you were waiting to become has quietly been emerging all along. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. If this episode has resonated with you, I'd love if you share it with someone who's working hard for something that hasn't happened yet. Sometimes all we need is the reminder that invisible progress is still progress. Until next time, keep showing up, keep trusting the process, and keep looking for your flip side. Your breakthrough probably isn't late. It's simply arriving at the speed that real transformation happens.